Who's doing this?
Okay. Hey, everybody! It's us, the Film Pigs. We're back after quite a bit of hiatus time. We were all in France on a vacation, and now we're
Retreat's
back.
a corporate retreat.
It was a corporate retreat for our corporate company that we.
Our parent company.
In any event,
We're vertical.
for our big.
We were integrating.
For our big movie review comeback, we saw what did we see, Steve Falk?
We saw the Avengers in 2D.
Glorious 2D. And Steve Skelton, why don't you give us a synopsis of the plot?
The Avengers in 2D was a spectacular action comic book movie where a bunch of crazy characters come together to quip at each other and then destroy New York.
Well done. Steve Falk, what was your opinion of the Avengers?
I very much enjoyed it. I am a fan of things smashing, and but you need some story, you need some humor, and I'm not like big on Buffy or any of that shit, but I think Joss Whedon was the man to do it. He's obviously very smart and a very good writer and sharp and knows this world, and it was a perfect mixture of action and enough humor that it didn't descend into silliness, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was sharp. It was fun. I mean, it was still like a 2-hour, 20-minute movie, like all these Marvel superhero movies that are usually way too long because they have super long second acts that go nowhere and anger me. But there was very little slowness. When the thing started to slow down, you jumped into another big action set piece, and it was fun.
Yeah.
The action was really well thought out.
It was a good time. And it smartly did never slow down enough where, well, for me it did a couple times where you start asking the obvious questions like, well, why isn't Thor more involved in this fight scene? Because, he's a demigod, and he could probably accomplish a lot more than just Hawkeye, the guy with the arrows.
He was probably just doing crunches.
Yeah.
We're working on his terrible English accent.
The other thing that I wasn't...
Asgardian accent.
Sorry.
And it was a spot-on Asgardian
Yeah, that's
accent.
the way they sound in Asgard.
South Asgardian.
The other thing I would say is, Loki's a fun bad guy, but I feel like we just had Loki as a bad guy last summer in Thor, so that felt a little repetitive to me.
If you saw Thor, that was your mistake. You saw Thor. For me, he was new.
I suppose,
Like,
yeah.
that's funny
Who's this
guy.
new Loki guy? He's
This
great.
guy's hysterical.
That's true. I mean, ultimately, the plot of the Avengers is the second act of Thor, just much larger and with more superheroes and not just Thor. But it certainly was an enjoyable film, and I agree. I think the sense of humor that it had, there were a lot of good jokes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that without the sense of humor, the action could have become more Transformers-esque.
Yeah.
Anytime you're destroying that part of Manhattan, you run the risk
Again.
of becoming Transformers. Poor Manhattan.
I know. But nobody can get property insurance in Manhattan.
Exactly. But the main thing I wonder about this movie, and maybe you guys have a different opinion, is it going to, when you have it's like the All-Star game or something, you know what I mean? When you have all them there, are you then going to start to, when they try to make you watch a Hulk movie, it's just Ruffalo, who was really good, by the way. Is it going to be like, nah, it's kind of boring, bring on more of them?
Well, I think it will do that if they keep making 2.5 hour long superhero movies. But if they can trim the individual ones down economically and smartly to shorter features that are a lot tighter and focused in the character portrayals, then it'll work.
I think in general, all these comic book movies there should be some kind of legislation on the books. That
Congress?
keeps them,
Do you think state?
I think Congress should get involved.
Is it states' right, or is this a federal issue?
I think it's federal. I think we have to get a little bit fascist about the running times of these movies. They should all be 90 minutes, and I think because they're basically spectacle movies, and for me personally, it's hard. I don't ever get terribly worried for anybody because in these comic book movies, death is no consequence. It's
Right.
people come back to life all the time,
Yeah.
and they're superheroes. They're not actual human beings.
Some of them are.
So, well, right, but they all, even if they don't have, supernatural powers, they have these almost supernatural abilities, and it's hard to actually worry about them and get lost in actual tension. For me, there's no real tension. It's just I'm watching,
Right, so you have to
fireworks.
But so you have to
display.
have like really smart action and really smart plotting.
I agree
to make it work.
But also, one of the things that I think would help is a shorter movie.
Yes.
Because you can do all the spectacle in 90 minutes. You don't need 2.5 hours
Right.
for the spectacle.
I don't
You
need to
just
see
don't.
Robert Downey Jr. make a new suit.
Yeah, you
I
don't.
mean, I think in this though, if any of them gets to be 2 hours, I think this one does because you had to service all the individual stories, at least like their little mini origin stories, or at least where they are, how Fury and Spectre.
Well, yeah, that's why I said that's something like the
found
group
them.
movie you can be that length.
Yeah.
But the individuals the individual movies so far have been the exact same length.
Right.
They need to be much
But
shorter.
I think they also these movies need to be very focused on getting the right directors.
Yes.
And I think Joss Whedon is the right director.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's been a lot of examples in the past of not the right director. I mean, maybe Kenneth Branagh was a good choice, maybe Jon Favreau, but then we can point to a lot of other movies where I'm not sure it was.
Yeah.
And Chris Nolan's obviously good for Batman, but I'm not sure. I mean, Bryan Singer obviously was not for Superman. You know what I mean? And
first two X-Men movies, yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So
But that's kind of a hard call to make because he did do such a good job, and it just didn't.
Yeah.
But then I mean, and the jury is still out, obviously. But I don't know if this Spider-Man, this ludicrously too soon Spider-Man reboot, it found the right director in Mark Webb, who had done 500 Days of Summer only.
Right.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know he's
who
a big
knows?
fan of the movies, and he had a vision, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what the next director can do when they do the reboot of the Avengers, which is due out Christmas, I believe.
I think
It's already scheduled.
It's due out Christmas.
Yeah, no, it's shooting now.
Yeah, the Fannings, both of the Fannings are playing Scarlett Johansson's role. They're just alternating.
So, hey guys, what else have you seen lately? Steve Skelton, what have you seen lately?
I actually just finally, because I missed it in the theaters, but I rented Young Adult, and I saw the Young Adult, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really
good
sharp
movie.
movie. Really good performances from Charlize Theron and Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think Colette Wolfe is pretty good too.
Yes.
Steve Falk, what have you seen lately?
I have no memory of seeing any movies.
I know you both saw Cabin in the Woods. What'd you think?
Oh,
of that?
that's right. Yeah,
I like
that was
that
fun.
movie.
That was a fun show.
That was
And
fun.
who was responsible for Cabin in the
Wait a
Woods?
second.
Joss Whedon
Joss Whedon.
and Drew Goddard.
That was a movie
Yeah,
that
that's
sat on
true.
the
Yeah,
shelf
Drew-
for 4 years, and when I was watching this, I was like, oh, wait a sec. Maybe it finally got released because of the Avengers.
the Avengers
and
buzz,
Whedon, so...
No, it was the MGM. It was the MGM, the bailout or the.
Well,
Oh,
I know
yeah,
that the reason why it sat on the shelf was
Yeah.
because of companies collapsing, but maybe they pushed to finally get it out there.
I also saw the Jason Segel romance picture.
Number 12.
Five engagement years.
5 years.
Very
of
long engagement.
Very long
Yeah.
engagements.
How's
It
that?
was all right.
Is that all
It
right?
wasn't bad. I mean, I it was a little bit. The second act was a mess, but it had some funny humor, and I like that guy Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah, he's really fun.
And Alison Brie was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I saw Pirates Band of Misfits, the
Oh, the
latest
Aardman.
Aardman picture. It was actually pretty cute. It's not the best Aardman movie, but
Was that a cartoon?
it's a stop film claymation deal. Like Wallace and Gromit and.
Oh yeah,
Chicken
I like
Run.
that guy.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And then I saw Lockout with
Oh
Guy
yeah,
Pearce.
you saw the
Which
space
one?
prison.
It's Escape from New York in Space.
Escape from Space,
it's
New York.
It's a Luc Besson joint.
I've never heard of that.
No, it was in the theaters for a week.
How was it?
It was it was a mess, but I had a good time.
That's good.
Guy Pearce is a lot of fun, but it's a mess of a movie. Only if you like those Luc Besson PG-13 action shows do I recommend it. But it was it whiled away a couple hours.
Yeah, it took your time.
Took my time, stole my time. It was fine. Could have been worse. All right, so we're about to wrap this thing up. It's good to be back.
I feel all right. I actually feel sad because one of my favorite performers on the planet died this week, MCA,
Yeah.
from the Beastie Boys, and he's on our just a little shout out. MCA.
That
Yeah.
is sad.
Offer my love and respect to the end.
MCA.
There you go.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Guess I should turn this off.
Do we have a remote? Because I don't want to get up.
Well, I'll just kick the chair over.